Hola a todos y bienvenidos a otra clase de inglés con Richard. Vamos a ver qué tenemos en el chat primero. Tenemos muy pocas personas, pero así. Who we got? We got Irma. Irma, you're actually in the conference, yeah? Can you hear me, Irma? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Good. And you?
Fine, thanks. Yeah. Today, the subject of today is going to be the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous, or present perfect continuous. In the chat, we've got Stefania and Carol and Anna. So let's begin the class. Let me just share the screen. Hold on. Share this one here. So remember this, esta clase es intermedio alto o nivel B2, so la mayoría debería estar en inglés. So to begin, we're going to just review these two tenses. Actually, we've seen these two tenses before. Let me just reshare that because it's not share correct. Yeah, these two tenses were covered at other levels, lower levels. I think the present perfect, I think it's level B1 actually, intermediate level that we saw these two tenses previously. So this is just like a review of these two tenses. What we want to do today really in this class is look at the differences because they're very similar, but there are some differences. So first of all, the two tenses. The first one is the present perfect. We've got the subject. We need the subject first, obviously, like we do in all tenses. Then we need the auxiliary verb have, or if it's in the third person singular, we need to use has. And next we need the past participle of the main verb. So, for example, I have finished. This is an example of the present perfect. You have finished. We have finished. They have finished. If it's third person singular, we need to use the auxiliary has instead of have. He has finished. She has finished. So as we've seen before, the past participle of the main verb, sorry, the main verb is in the past participle, and the past participle of regular verbs is formed with ed, adding ed. So finish, the past participle of finish is finished. It's the same as the past. And the past participle of start is started. But there are many verbs which are irregular. On my website, I have a list and an MP3 file of the irregular verbs. And after the class, I'll put a link in the description of this video so that you can go there and download that. Because whatever level that you're at, even if you're at beginner level, you need to learn the irregular verbs. So the three irregular verbs that I've got here are lost, which is the past participle of lose, done, which is the past participle of do, and been, which is the past participle of be. So let me just check the chat. We've got Florentina. Hi, Florentina. Florentina is a member of the channel. If you visit the tab that I put above Florentina, you should be able to join the class. So this is a summary of the present perfect. I'll just give you some more examples. We have lost. She has done it, for example. Now, if we want to form the negative, we just add the word not here. So I have not finished. But we normally contract that to haven't, which I've got written down here. Haven't. Where's my... Let's have a look a minute because I don't have the text formatting. Let's put that up there so I can... Yeah, have not is normally contracted to haven't, and has not is normally contracted to hasn't. So I haven't finished. He hasn't finished. Now down here we have the present perfect continuous, which is similar. First of all, we need the subject, same as before, same as the present perfect. We also need the auxiliary, the same as the present perfect. And then we need the past participle of the verb be, which is been, followed by the present participle of the main verb, which is the main verb with ing. So examples of the present perfect continuous are: I have been working, you have been working, we have been working, they have been working. And if the subject is a he, a she, or an it, let me just see if I can change this view a minute, because I've got a, it's the same. I want to get rid of this thing at the bottom. Don't know how to do that at the moment. If the subject is he has not been, sorry, he has been working, she has been working, it has been working. So again, if we want the negative, we just add the word not, but as with the present perfect simple, we're going to use the contraction. So the negative would be, I haven't been working, you haven't been doing much, we haven't been eating, they haven't been running, he hasn't been sleeping, she hasn't been running, for example. So here, up here in the blue box, I've got some more examples. Let's see if I can just get rid of this thing at the bottom because it's annoying me. I think it's that. That's one of them, yeah. What else have we got down there? That's not that one. I'm trying to get rid of this thing at the bottom. Oh, it's not that. I wanted that. Oh, I don't know what it is, where it is. Very irritating. I recently had to reinstall everything on my computer, so everything's badly configured. Anyway, let's carry on. I've got some examples here. He's lost his key. So we've got some other contractions here that we can use in the present. So I didn't put the full thing here. So I have, normally we say I've, and you have, we say you've. Then with the third person, it's he has, it's he's, she has, it's she's, it has. So normally when people speak, they're going to use these contractions. We have is we've, and finally they have, we say Dave. So in the examples here, I'm using the contractions. So he's lost his key. He's lost his key. Instead of saying he has lost his key. So this S here is the has. Now in another situation, the S could be, for example, if I were to write, let's write under here, or let's write above here. For example, yeah, that's, if I write here, another example, he's a doctor. He's a doctor. Hold on, I just need to let my dog out. He's a doctor. So in this example, the S in the sentence, he's a doctor, this is the verb be. So don't get confused, because here, this here is the verb be. He is equals, sorry, he's equals he is. But in this one, he's is he has. We're not going to get confused because this one is followed by the past participle. So we know that it's he has. Well, he's lost his key. I suppose actually we could, yeah, I've just realized that we could say something else and say, if we just said he's lost, this is very confusing now with this example. He's lost in this sentence, the he's is he is, the same as this one. Because here, lost is an adjective. But when I make the sentence, he's lost his key, because it's followed by this noun, that means he has ha perdido su llave. I mean, we're never going to get confused. Native speakers are never going to get confused. But the reason I mention it is that you need to be aware that this contraction could be he is or it could be he has, depending on the context. So let's carry on with the other examples. I've cut my finger. I've cut my finger. She's gone out. Have you been here long? All of these ones here, these are examples of the present perfect. And down here we have examples of the present, or this one at least is an example of the present perfect continuous. Oh no, sorry, it's not. It's this one here. That is an example of the present perfect continuous. This one is present perfect simple. Have you been here long? Have you been here long? And this one is present perfect continuous. He's been working all day. He's been working all day. It's been raining for 2 hours. It's been raining for 2 hours. Present perfect continuous. And here we have a question in the present perfect continuous. So we need to reverse the order and put the have before the subject. How long have you been learning English? How long have you been learning English? She hasn't been running for a week. A negative. Very good. So let's continue on the next page and look at some of the uses. The uses. So the first use is the uses of the present perfect simple. Present perfect simple. So where do we use the present perfect simple? The first use of the present perfect simple is to talk about specific past events without giving a specific, to talk about past events without giving a specific time. So for example, I could say, I've been to Peru. What does this mean? It means that he ido a Peru. I've been to Peru in my life, but I don't tell you when I went to Peru. If I say I've been to Peru, basically it means I've been to Peru in my life from the day I was born until now. And that's the important thing with this tense, because we are talking about it. It's the present perfect, so there always has to be a relationship with now. Here's another example. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle? If you ask somebody this question, you are asking them about their entire life. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle? Have you ever been to Peru? Have you ever flown in a hang glider? So, and the ever is an adverb which is used to emphasize that we are talking about our entire life. I'm sorry, I need to let the dog in again now because he's barking and he's distracting me. Hey, come on, in. So, second use. We often use this with already and yet. And also I should, there are three words here, three adverbs: already, just, and yet. I've just finished. So this is like acabo de terminarlo. We use this for things that have been finished or occurred very recently, and we use the word just to say that this thing occurred very recently. We use already. I've already finished. If we're using already, it's I finished it before it was expected to be finished. So it's like ya lo he terminado in español. I haven't finished yet. Todavía, the yet is like todavía. It was expected to be finished, but it isn't. I haven't finished it yet. And also we can use yet in questions. Have you finished yet? So we're going to use already. Already is in positive statements. And yet is in negatives and questions. So this is the second use of the present perfect tense with the adverbs already, just, and yet. The third use is for finished actions with a result in the present. For example, look, I've cut my finger. I've cut my finger. Look, and it's injured. My finger is injured. So I cut my finger in the past, but the result now is that I have the injury. I have the cut. So let me just check the chat. I've got Norma in the chat. Richard says, what class is this? This is class number 4, I think. Should be number 4. Maybe I put the wrong number on it, but it should be number 4. Yes, class 4 of the B2 level. And we've got Norma. Hi, Norma. So remember, anybody can join my channel. If you want to join the channel, there's like a little $sign underneath the chat. Hay un signo de dólar. Haces un clic ahí, pueden unirse al canal. Y también you can give us super sticker, I think they're called. Super sticker or a super chat if you want to donate to my channel. So let's carry on. Another example of a finished action with a result now. He's lost his keys. So he lost his keys in the past, and he doesn't have the keys now. He doesn't have the keys now because he lost them in the past. So I think the important thing here is, and probably I mentioned it somewhere else in this, there's a big difference between he's lost his keys and he lost his keys. Now the second one is in the simple past, and that just tells us that an event occurred in the past. It doesn't have any relationship, and it doesn't tell us anything about now. But the other one, the one in the present perfect, talks about the same event, that is, he lost his keys in the past, but it also tells us that he doesn't have his keys now. So this is very important because whenever we use this tense, it's about the past, but with a result now. The time period always comes up to now. So the fourth use that I have of the present perfect tense is with the phrases how many or how much, which is like Spanish cuánto or cuántos or cuánta, cuántos. So how many is used with countable nouns, and how much is used with uncountable nouns. So for example, how many times have you been to London? So this is how many times in your life. How much money have you spent this week, from the beginning of this week until now? So these are the 4 main uses of the present perfect simple. So what about the present perfect continuous? Well, the present perfect continuous is very similar. We use but it's more for activities. So we use the present perfect continuous to talk about an action that started in the past and continues until now, and could possibly continue into the future. We We also often use this with how long. How long es como cuánto tiempo. So we saw earlier, we saw with the present perfect simple, we often use it with how many and how much. But the present perfect continuous, we often use with how long. So here's an example. How long have you been learning English? How long have you been learning English? And I've got two answers here. I've been learning English for a year, and I've been learning English, or I've been learning English since 2018. So the question is, how long have you been learning English from the past until now? And the answer is, I've been learning English for a year, started in the past, continues till now, and may or may not continue into the future. And here we have for a year or since 2018, which is saying the same thing, but we often use for and since with these tenses, but we use for with a period of time. By a period of time, I mean something like 10 minutes, an hour, a day, a week, 2 months, 3 years, 10 years, 100 years. And since is with a point in time. 1 o'clock, it's a point in time yesterday, last week, June 2018, 1974, 1892. So this is the main use of the present perfect continuous. Okay, Irma, do you have any questions?
No, so
No,
far so good.
everything is very clear. So far, so
I
good.
think
Very
so.
good expression.
I
Yeah, let's put
think
that
so.
on there. Very good expression. So far, so good. How do you say so far, so good in Spanish?
Hasta ahorita bien.
Hasta ahorita bien. A very good expression. So far, so good. Okay, let's continue then. So here I've got some of the differences between these two tenses. So use the present perfect and the present perfect continuous, both of the tenses, to talk about something that started in the past and affects the present. The present, but the difference is this: the present perfect focuses on the result of the activity. And the present perfect continuous focuses on the activity. This is the main difference between these two tenses. Focusing on the activity or event which may or may not be finished. Now, I've got two examples here. The first one says, Mike's repaired the car. That's in the present perfect simple. The focus of this sentence is on the result. That is, Mike's repaired the car and now the car is repaired, is finished. And this one, Mike's tired because he's been repairing the car. The focus is on the activity. This one doesn't tell us if he's finished or not. He may be finished, he may not be finished. But what we're talking about here is the activity, not the result. With this one, we're talking about the result. The result is the car is finished. Here's another example. Someone's drunk my beer. So my glass is empty. It's all gone. It's finished. That's the result. Someone's been drinking my beer means the glass is not empty. There's still I'm talking about the activity, and the activity is not finished. When I left the glass with this one, when I left the beer in the glass was full, and when I returned, I said somebody's drunk my beer. It's all gone. Now this one here, I left my glass a full glass, and when I returned, it was half empty. So I would say somebody's been drinking my beer. Looking at the activity. Have you been running? Asking you about a recent activity. Present perfect continuous. Have you ever run a marathon? Asking about events in your life. Present perfect simple. This one asking you about an activity, a recent activity. This one asking you about events in your life. How much English have you learnt? Asking you about a result. How long have you been learning English? How long have you been learning English, Irma?
Oh, not much years, like 10 years,
Yeah, not many years. Not many
not
years.
many years.
And how much English have you learnt?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a difficult question. Maybe you can say
Yeah,
a lot. I've
sometimes
learnt a lot of English, or I haven't learnt much English.
I don't know.
Okay. Here's some more examples. She's written 3 documents today. If we're going to talk about a number of items, uh, here's another example. He's ridden his bike 3 times this week. So 3 documents 3 times. If you're talking about a number of separate events, present perfect simple. She's been writing documents all day talking about the activity. He's been riding his bike for 3 hours talking about the activity. So these are the differences between these two tenses. This is the most important, what I've put up here. The present perfect focuses on the result. The present perfect continuous focuses on the activity. Um, so one more thing before we stop or we finish this subject and ask the questions. One more thing, and that is that basically this screen came from another class. Remember, there are 2 types of verbs: stative verbs and I don't have them here actually. Dynamic verbs. Here are the dynamic verbs here. So dynamic verbs are actions like walk, run, sleep. These can be in any tense, but the stative verbs, which represent states, cannot be used in the continuous tenses. So they cannot be used, these verbs cannot be used in the present perfect continuous. So for example, you have no, I've, we have to say, let me just change that because it's, this is correct. I've known him for 10 years. And this one, I've been knowing him for 10 years, is incorrect. We cannot say that because that verb, we cannot use it, know, in any continuous tense. So all of these verbs here are what we call stative verbs. Like, know, belong, love, realize, fit, taste, hate, suppose, contain. Um, These verbs, you cannot use them in the present perfect continuous or any continuous tense. This came from another class, but I just wanted to add it here because we're dealing with 2 tenses. One of them is continuous. So that's everything for this class. Just got some questions now. So here we want to form the questions. So we have Irma in the conference. So we've got Norma and Florentina and other people in the chat. So what we want to do is your friend is learning English. Ask your friend the question. Irma, what's the question? It's the same question that I just asked you.
Mm.
What's the question?
How long have you learned English?
Cassie.
Have you been learning English?
Yeah, very good. How long have you been learning English? Very good. Present perfect continuous. How long have you been learning English? Good. So situation 2, you've just arrived to meet your wife. Well, I'm going to put husband because who is waiting for you. So you just arrived to meet your husband. He's been waiting for you. You are late.
For your husband? Oh, I can see
Yeah,
the.
yeah. Can you see it?
I did not see the complete sentence.
What about now? Can you see
Okay.
the complete
Did you
sentence
say
now?
it?
So you got to ask the
Interview.
question here, and anybody in the chat can
Just
answer
arrived
this
to
too. If you're
meet
in
your
the chat,
husband who is waiting
you
for
can write the answer in the
you.
chat. Any ideas? Has anyone got the
How
answer?
long had you?
Yeah. How long
How long had
have
you
you?
uh, waiting? Have you been waiting for
Very
you
good. Yeah. How
for
long
me?
have?
How long
Yeah. Yeah.
had
Yeah.
you
Okay.
been waiting? How long had you
Yeah. How
been
long?
waiting?
How long have you
You
been
been
waiting?
waiting?
Is correct. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
you could say me too, but that's entirely optional.
waiting.
You don't really need to say that. How long have you been waiting? Well, if you add the me, you'd have to say, how long have you been waiting for me? But
For me, yeah.
it's not necessary. Just say, how long have you been waiting? How long have you been waiting? Next question. You see someone fishing and you want to ask them the question. So you say,
Catch anything?
anybody in the chat too? I can't see anybody
Yes.
speaking in the chat. I don't know if my chat's working. Let's just have a look. So if you're in
Have
the
you?
chat,
Let me check. Have you ever catch some fish? Any fish?
no, here you
No.
actually, the person is actually fishing. So you're
Oh.
going to ask them, I mean, in Spanish is cuantos.
How
Yeah, good.
many? How
Well,
many?
actually, yeah, I mean, this is a yes or no question.
Is
I
that
did that wrong in Spanish, actually. Yeah, sorry. As it's a yes or no question.
that is a yes or no question?
Yeah. So the question is going to be have. It's going to start with have.
Have you ever see someone catch
No,
any
no, no.
fish?
Tú ves una persona pescando y tú dices a ellas, hey, as
Mm.
anybody in the chat, have you catch any fish, Nidia?
Okay.
But it's not quite right, Nidia, because you need to use the past participle.
Have you
Catch. What's the past participle of catch?
had you? Oh, no, I don't
One
remember.
word is wrong in Nidia's answer.
Had you
Do you know what the past participle of catch is,
catch?
Emma?
I don't remember. Calf.
Caught. Have you caught
Calf.
any fish?
You calf any fish. Okay.
And yeah, Nidia put yeah. You could also put yeah. That's optional. But you could, if you wrote
Jet.
it with a question word, it would
Okay.
be how many fish have you caught?
How many fish have you
How many fish
caught?
have you caught? Let's put that. Let's move that over there. Good. So now we have. Let me highlight these questions. This was the answer to this one. The next one is two questions I put there. The next one is your friend is getting married.
How many people have you invited?
Very good. Yeah, very quick. How many people have you invited? How many people have you invited? Good. So ask me the question. This question here, ask me the question.
How long have you taught English?
It's yeah. I mean, you could say that. How long have you taught English? But you're asking a question in the present perfect. It's possible, just about. How long have you taught English? but it's much better here because here you're
Uh,
asking about the activity.
uh-huh.
So really,
How long have you been teaching English?
yeah, I think you could just about get away with how long have you taught English. But normally, if we're talking about activities, we really want to use the continuous. This is the main
Okay.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Okay.
meet a writer, you can ask them two questions. Two questions. How long have you been teaching English? Yeah. Thanks, Nydia.
How many books have you been writing? On
You got them. You got that one.
many
Yeah.
how many books
Yeah.
you write?
Yeah. What's the past participle of write?
Writing.
Written. Yeah. How
Many
many
books
books have
have
you
you
written? So
written?
basically, yeah, this with how many, you remember how many,
Okay.
we're going to use the present
How many?
perfect simple
Okay.
or the present perfect. Yeah, how many? Now, the other question is with how long. So if you remember here, I told you with how long, we're going to use the present perfect continuous because you're asking about the length of time, the period of time. So how many books have you written? What's this question? What's this question? Any ideas, Irma? Or
Um,
anybody in the chat?
how long have you say? How long have you saved
Uh,
money?
well, actually,
Uh,
yes, sorry, we're still on this one, look. There were two questions. How many books have
ah,
you written and how long have you been?
how long have
Nydia,
you
yeah, Nydia has the right
have
answer
you
in the chat.
writing books?
No, here
Okay.
is how long have you, oh, sorry, I missed a word there.
Have
How long
you have you been
writing
writing
books?
books? Yeah.
Yeah, because with how long we're asking about the
Yeah.
period of
How
time.
long have you
So
been
we
writing
need to
books?
use the continuous with how many or how much. We're going to use the simple. So it's the same here. We got two questions. We got two questions here.
Okay. How long have you saving money? Have
Um,
you
yeah, you
been
missed one
saving
word. Yeah,
money?
very
How long
good.
have
How long have you
you
been
been
saving
saving
money? How long
money?
have you been saving money? Very good. How long have you been saving money? And the other one,
Mm,
that I put the wrong, well, this is wrong, sorry. Home, it shouldn't be home, it should be how. Sorry. How much money?
mm. How much money have you saved?
How much money have you saved? Very good. In the present perfect, sometimes called the present perfect simple. Let's continue. There's six more questions. So we need to put the verb in the correct form. Where have you been? This is a question.
Playing football?
Yeah, very good, Enrique. Yeah, you're going to ask them a question. So you're going to say, hey, where have you been? ¿Dónde has estado? Where have you been?
Playing football?
No, you've got to ask a question.
Ah, which one? The one?
Yeah, number one. Yeah, or anybody in the chat.
Where have you been? I I've been playing football.
No, son dos preguntas de la misma
Oh,
persona, no es una conversación.
Okay. Where have you been?
Actually, in the chat, I have Enrique. Where have you been? Yeah, he's got where. Where have you been? The next question will be, have you
Have
been?
you have you been playing football?
Yeah, have you
Have
been
you been
playing?
playing football?
Yeah, ¿dónde has estado? ¿Has estado jugando fútbol? Son dos preguntas. Look, somebody.
Stole your bike.
Well, yeah. Actually, I should have put up here. What we got to put these is put the verbs in the present perfect or present perfect continuous, because otherwise it's ambiguous, that one. This one is ambiguous because we say someone, look, someone is stealing your bike, present perfect simple, but we want to put it in one of these two tenses. So the situation is two people return and the bike is gone. So what do you say? The
Ah,
bike
look,
is not there. Look,
somebody
somebody.
stole your bike.
We wouldn't say stole. We could say
Some
stole,
look,
but
somebody have stolen your bike.
somebody has stolen. Yeah, I mean, basically, you could say somebody stole your bike, but if so, you say somebody stole your bike, that's like the example I gave you before. It's an event in the past that doesn't tell you anything about now. If you returned to a place where you left your bike with a friend, then your bike would say, "Look, somebody's stolen your bike." Actually, this would be contracted. It's gone. It's not there now. If you say someone's stolen your bike, it means it's not there now. Number three. You look tired. So you've got to put them either in the present perfect or the present perfect continuous.
You have been working hard.
It's a question. So
Oh,
we
it's a
need,
question.
yeah. Sorry, maybe I should put a question there. Sorry. So
Uh,
it was the right answer, but you just need to change the order.
you look tired. Have you working hard? Oh, have you worked hard?
No, actually, we're talking here about the activity. So we're talking about the
Have you
activity. We're asking
worked
about the activity. So remember, when we're asking about an activity, we need to use the present
present perfect?
continuous. Remember, the present perfect is
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
result.
The
The
perfect.
present perfect continuous is about the activity.
Have you been working hard?
Very good. Yeah. Have you been working hard? Good. Have you been working hard? So the next question.
Have you ever working on a farm?
Very good. Yeah. If we got ever, it's going to be in the present perfect simple. We're asking about your life. So we say, have you ever worked on a farm?
Okay. Have you ever worked on a farm? Okay.
This is this is a conversation. This is person A. This is person B. They are on vacation.
Where have been going?
No.
No. Oh, where have they gone?
Yeah, where have they gone? Where have they gone? Good. And finally, sorry I'm late. This is like the one we saw before with the husband.
Have you been waiting long?
Yeah, very good. Have you been waiting long? Good. So that's everything for today. Thank you very much,
Thank you, teacher.
um, Irma. I don't know why you're the only person who comes to the class. There are a lot of members of the channel, but nobody comes. Very strange.
Mm.
So thank you very much, and thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to
Thanks for the
Eva,
class.
Enrique, Anna, Nidia, um, members of the channel. Not many here, and see you. I'll be back this week with another live class. So that's all for now.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Thanks.